a collapse of MakerDAO Keepers, 4.5 million loss on how to become a keeper to earn 13% liquidation penalties. On the 13th of March, Ethereum dropped a whopping 40% from around $200 to $130 and then actually even touched the $98 range, and it brought MakerDAO Vault to its knees and many people lost money. And I think it's very important, since I've talked about MakerDAO and advantages, I think it's also important that you're aware of which risks are involved when creating a vault. Now, I do hope that this issue gets resolved and that solutions are put in place to make sure that the MakerDAO collateral auctions market does not fail as it did on the last crash of Ethereum. So thanks a lot to Renatco for posting this massive post detailing the issue at hand and also offering different solutions on how we can address this problem and also maybe prevent it from happening in the future. So I'll link this article down below so you can go through it in peace, and also link the waitlist if you're interested in becoming a MakerDAO keeper and earn 13% by liquidating unstable, unhealthy vaults. The whole title of the article is A Collapse of MakerDAO Keepers, 4.5 million loss on how to become a keeper to earn 13% liquidation penalties by providing liquidity to MakerDAO keeper pools. And yeah, the biggest problem, or what happened, is the MakerDAO collateral auctions failed and the market was brought to its knees due to the loss of value of Ethereum. And the people that are affected are, first of all, you've got the losses affecting some of the MakerDAO Vault holders that created a collateralized debt position by adding Ethereum as the collateral and generating DAI. Now the problem is, when the collateral dropped far too much, then they got liquidated, and normally there's only the amount you have to pay back plus a 13% liquidation fee, but unfortunately their whole collateral got wiped out. There are a few examples in the post. And the second group affected by the losses are the holders of Maker token. So enough Maker had to be minted and selling them for DAI to cover the missing DAI in the system due to the loss. Now, a short explanation is the following. Collapse of the MakerDAO auctions. Losses above is a result of a short-term monopoly in the auction market of collateral liquidation of MakerDAO vaults, and these MakerDAO vaults became under-collateralized with the price of collateral Ethereum and Brave Attendant token on the decline. And this monopoly existed for 3.5 hours in the morning, and this allowed a single keeper with a lot of gas to basically bid on 4.5 million worth of Ethereum in exchange for 0 DAI plus the gas fees. And since he was the only keeper bot that did that, and he added a high amount of gas, he was able to win the auction. Now, there are a few victims for MakerDAO Vault holders who were liquidated between the times of 10 AM EST and 1 PM EST. I'll link these down below. It's very unfortunate that they were affected by this. Even if it's painful to say, do not put more than your do not put more into the DeFi space that you're willing to lose. Do not put your life saving into the space that you're willing to lose. It's still beta software, and things like this software not working as it should is something that you have to be aware of, and you have to take that into consideration when adding funds to these different protocols. Even though I'm very bullish on the whole space, you have to be aware that it takes a long time for everything to mature, everything to become reliable. But even with everything reliable, things like this can still happen. So you've got the different victims where their MakerDAO vaults have been liquidated, and it's not very sure what is going to be done to help these people out. There are probably a lot more people that were liquidated and their vaults completely wiped out, but these ones had a lot of Ethereum in their vaults. Now the second victim class are the MakerDAO token holders, and their token lost a value of around 40%. And the MakerDAO token holders who will be diluted on Wednesday, March 18th, as a result of a flop auction, minting new Maker tokens and selling them at an auction until the auction proceeds cover the missing DAI, 4.5 million DAI at the time of this writing. So what actually happened? And to answer this, you have to understand what a keeper is, and a keeper is basically a bot that checks the health status of different vaults and checks if the collateral is enough to actually keep that vault healthy. And when they liquidate a vault that is unhealthy, then it becomes 13% liquidation penalty. So operators of such bots are incentivized with mandatory 13% liquidity penalty imposed on vault collateral upon liquidation. Here are the two documents, MakerDAO auctions. I'll link them down below with the whole thread. Now here is the clue, the problem. After 10 AM EST, a single liquidation auction bot was able to bid at 0 DAI, slightly above, per each collateral ETH being auctioned and win the auction. And as a result, this keeper was effectively able to, it's not really stealing, it's basically the system didn't work as it should. He was able to win auctions and get 4 million worth of Ethereum collateral because the auction was designed to raise at least 4 million DAI in exchange for the ETH that was auctioned during liquidations. However, all except one keeper stopping their operations, and there was only one bidder. So basically all the other keepers, they failed. There was only one bidder, so that's why he won this crazy auction of 4 million Ethereum for 0 DAI. Now you might be wondering why the keepers market collapsed, and the number one cause is the liquidity crunch with the Ethereum price dropping so fast and so much, and the keepers simply ran out of DAI to bid in the collateral auctions due to the inability to liquidate Ethereum fast enough for DAI, and some keepers shut down due to the squeeze because they bought Ethereum at 170 ETH for 170 DAI and hours later can only sell for 130 DAI at a loss, which is much more than 13% liquidation penalty. And the second biggest problem, and that's something that I hope Ethereum 2.0 Serenity proof of stake blockchain is going to solve, and that is network congestion, with Ethereum 1.0 suffering at times of high transactions, and this brought many keepers to its knees. And even with this liquidity, many were unable participating in auctions due to the stuck transactions and high gas costs. So that's with the proof of work Ethereum 1.0. So I hope Ethereum 2.0 will bring a lot more transactions per second and eliminate the network congestion issues that we have with Ethereum 1.0. Now, Renatko offered a few very good solutions on how we can prevent this from happening in the future. And the first solution is a MakerDAO Keeper Pool, and this will provide liquidity, non-custodial pool like Uniswap, and it will give keepers some competition. And to prevent more people from losing their funds, Renatko decided to fund the development, thanks a lot Renatko, of a MakerDAO Keeper Pool, which will allow anybody to become a keeper and participate in liquidations of collateral and earn 13% liquidation penalty. So that means you and me, even without the knowledge of having a bot and so on, you can become a keeper and you can liquidate unhealthy contracts and earn 13% on top of that. And it's probably going to be very easy to use, and anyone can participate. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, the important thing is to increase the number of keepers serving in a MakerDAO system in order to prevent yet another collapse of the keepers market, as it happened 2 days ago. Now, the 3 different options that are proposed is, the first one is a web-based MakerDAO keeper. The liquidity to perform liquidations of third-party collaterals from your browser as a keeper. So you can just log in through your browser, probably also a wallet, maybe Trust Wallet, MetaMask wallet, and you can actually just liquidate unhealthy contracts instead of having a bot. The second option is making the bot installation a lot easier on maybe AWS, Amazon Web Services, and with a template, an open source keeper template, to make this one-click installation on AWS a lot easier. It will be much simpler to have this bot running on AWS for anyone to install, so you don't have to have the technical knowledge for that. And the third option is non-custodial MakerDAO Keeper Pool, and then here you can earn yield on DAI, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, DAI, Chai from a pool running multiple keeper bots servicing the MakerDAO ecosystem. So three very good proposals, and I hope that they'll manage to implement all three of them, hopefully, and they will give the current keepers a lot more competition and hopefully prevent the issue that we had with one keeper being able to bid on all that Ethereum with zero DAI. So the ultimate aim is to upgrade the MakerDAO Keeper Pool to be a keeper of last resort, and you can think of that as a keeper backed by on-chain guaranteed liquidity and configured to participate in auctions with bids of at least 0.85 of the current ETH DAI market price, as reported by oracles. So this is, I think it's very important to be transparent with the issues that are currently happening in the MakerDAO space. And even though I'm making videos about MakerDAO and how you can participate, I think I urge you to take these risks into consideration when investing and opening up a vault. It's still better software, more or less, even if there's a lot of money running on it. If you've got a lot of money, maybe you can create an insurance with Nexus Mutual. They offer different cryptocurrency insurances in case of something like this happening. If you're interested in becoming a keeper, Renatko made a Google Docs form where you can sign up to become a keeper with your Telegram and so on. You can join the waitlist for the MakerDAO Keeper Pool, and I think it's a very interesting way to participate in the community and also earn 13% of liquidation penalty if you want to earn a little bit of a side income for fun. So yeah, that was it for this video. If you've got any questions, it's a very complicated topic, so it might not be easy to understand. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. I wish you a fantastic week, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.